Minecraft.
Hello everybody and welcome back to my cave home. And what you are looking at here is the unfortunate result of an explosion of an industrial coil. All of this was mostly solid wall back in here, and there was a floor here, and I had an industrial coil that I was charging up, left it unattended, didn't check on it. It got to be too much and it exploded. What you don't get to see is how much stuff I lost. Hours and hours and hours of work and a ton of iron and steel and other parts. I had a whole bunch of stuff in basically this area over here. I had automated the production from my extractor with some equipment. Sadly, all of that is gone and I will have to rebuild it. So, to say the least, I'm really bummed out about the whole thing because I know I'm going to have to rebuild everything that I've done, and it's going to take another several hours and hours and hours of work. So originally I'd wanted to show you what I had accomplished and what I had achieved, but considering what has happened, I'm a little too bummed out about that, so I'm not going to do it. I'll have to rebuild everything and then I can show you what's going on. So as you can see, I have built myself some power suit armor from the Modular Powersuits mod, and I have my new weapon, which is called a gravel gun, and that's actually from RotaryCraft as well. And so let's go ahead and get started with the episode. As I said, I'm going to go attack a roguelike dungeon and see what I can find in it. Do a little bit more action this episode as opposed to building stuff. As you can see, I've been building quite a bit, done quite a bit. You can see where pipes have exploded and caused me problems. Oh, that explosion really damaged a lot of my production, so don't want to talk about it. Anyway, I have Modular Powersuits armor, and that's with the Modular Powersuits mod, of course. And it's pretty easy. You just craft this armor. Just takes different pieces of material, and once you go into a tinker table, you can select one of your pieces of armor here, and then you can decide how you want to kit it out. As you can see here, it's kind of hard to see, but there's a little green check mark. I have diamond armor plating, and that's all I have in the chest plate. In my helmet, I have a night vision as well as flight control, but that's worthless, and I'll explain why in just a bit. My leggings, more diamond plate armor. I've got a little small battery, a kinetic generator which will help recharge the battery as I move around, sprinting assistant, jumping assistant, and uphill step assistant. And in my boots, I have a shock absorber and some more armor. Now, I couldn't get everything I really wanted out of this armor because I wanted to be able to fly with a jetpack. Unfortunately, that requires one of these ion thrusters, and in order to make not only that, I guess I should say I also wanted to have an energy shield on all of my armor, but both of those items require hardened glass, and in the thermal expansion mod, hardened glass is trivial to make, but in RotaryCraft it's much more difficult. In RotaryCraft, I would need to make a what's it called? A pulse jet furnace, and that's what I would have to use to make the hardened glass. But to power that, I need jet fuel, and in order to make jet fuel, I need a gassed tier. And of course, because of my imposed limitation of not being able to use a portal to go to the Nether, where there are ghasts, I can't kill a ghast, and therefore get a ghast tier. So I'm a little bit SOL on that for right now. So we're gonna have to see if we can't get around it without it. Couple of things I'll show you real quick as well. Over here, I have a meteor that landed, and if you remember, I've had meteors that landed. Well, I've had several that landed all over, but one episode I mined out one that was in this area. And there's 3 basic types of meteors. This is from the MeteorCraft mod. There are 3 types of meteors. The overworld, I don't know if these are official terms, but this is what I call them. There's an overworld meteor, a nether meteor, which looks like this, and an end meteor. And the overworld meteor we've talked about, we've seen it. It's made out of stone with ores into it. And the nether meteor is similar. It's netherrack with any type of nether ores that occur in it. And in my case, the only things I have that would generate in the nether are going to be quartz, nether quartz, and this ammonium chloride for ReactorCraft. But this is good because I need this nether quartz in order to have an applied Energistics system. So this gives me an opportunity to collect nether quartz, again, since I can't travel into the nether. But if you're using the MeteorCraft mod and you have nether ores, different types of nether ores installed, like say with Tinker's Construct or even the nether ores mod, then those would generate within these nether meteors that hit the ground. And I'm going to run over here. And so here we have an end meteor, and basically similar. It's composed of end stone and any type of ores that would occur in the end. And again, in my case, the only one I have would be this pitch blend for ReactorCraft. But if you have a mod that utilizes different types of end ores, they would generate in these end meteors. So again, a way to get ores without having to travel to those dimensions. And it looks like there's 3 of them that all hit in this general area, which is pretty cool. Okay, so enough talking about that. Let's go ahead and go to the Roguelike Dungeon. This is the one that was at the beginning of my series over here. But to be honest with you, I've been in there in a little bit of exploration. So I don't want to go in there. Instead, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go over to this one here because I have not been in that one at all. So it'll be something new. I have kitted myself out with some torches that I'll need. And we will go check it out right now. Okay, here we are. And I didn't mention it before, but if you look, I only have 8 hearts. I died again since the last recording. So I'm now down to only having 8 hearts. And I gotta tell you, it makes me get really scared when I start taking damage from anything, especially skeletons shooting at me, because I'm so much closer to dying. That's an entire 4 hit points. As I said, I have this gravel gun, and the gravel gun shoots out gravel, like that. And you can see on the tooltip there, it is currently, it deals 6.5 hearts of damage, which would be 13 points of damage. And you can see that it says gravel gun, 616 kilojoules. And every time I fire this gun, that goes down. So now I'm at 615 kilojoules. That is, there's a coil that goes inside of the gravel gun, and you wind that coil up in something called a coil winder, and it gets the amount of power that it gets. And that's how many, that shows not only how many shots it fires, but also how much damage it does as the coil gets, as the number of joules in the coil go down, it has less tension to it, and therefore it'll cause less damage. So these roguelike dungeons, they have this book at the top of them, say journal, and if you read this book, forced out of our own base, monsters everywhere, was such a marvelous home. Our stuff is still down there. We're running out of food and have to leave soon before the tower is taken over as well. I think that's just to add a little bit of flavor to being here. All right, let's head down into the Roguelike Dungeon. I think I mentioned before, these dungeons, they are somewhat randomly generated. Of course, they're created from templates that are just spliced together, but you know, they turn out to be pretty cool, I think. I'm going to turn on my little cheaty thing that tells me if I have things lit up enough to keep monsters from spawning on me. And we'll just pick a direction and start going. It's usually the best way to do it. Alright. I can hear spiders already. And we're going to go. There's another stairwell that goes down there. And these, as I said, these dungeons, they have treasures and they have monsters. There's a chest. Nothing too terribly great. What I have learned, though, in exploring these is I'm going to go ahead and take at least the wood. There's an anvil here. Ooh, that could be useful. Is there anything in these furnaces? Ooh, there's coal. Because if I start to run out of torches, I can use the wood and this coal in order to make torches. There's a pretty nice iron sword. It's got sharpness and unbreaking, but it is magical, so I'm going to leave it there. And I'll take all of the stuff that probably seems like garbage, but you never know when it can come in useful. I'm not sure I can use the glass bottles for... Oh, a hydrator. Yeah, maybe they are useful. I'll take the glass bottles. And of course you could mine out the bricks or the glowstone for the raw materials as well if you needed them. But let's just do some more exploring and see what we see. Looks like this tunnel here didn't produce much. Let's go down this way and see what we have down here. Alright. Anything? There's a monster spawner. And a spider. Gotcha. Alright, block that. Block that. Anything in here? Oh, all kinds of stuff in here. It's one of those things where you start wanting to just collect everything you see because you never know what's going to be useful. Fortunately, it looks like I picked up some magical stuff there due to the nature of the drops that these guys have. Let's go ahead and put that away. And oops, sometimes the faster walking speed and sprinting speed I have with this power armor will throw me off, and I end up... Look, that's my sprinting speed there. Give you an idea of how fast it is. But it'll sometimes... Even my walking speed is faster than the normal walking speed. So it sometimes throws me off. I'm not quite used to it. Let's go ahead and go in here. And these dungeons are fairly easy to explore. They're just, you know, a mass of tunnels, but they can be dangerous simply in the fact that, well, you have monsters, obviously. So, if you remember, when I went down looking for the netherrack, I had to be particularly worried because I wasn't as well kitted out. Now, I don't have any type of fear because of the not only my armor that I have, but also the gravel gun makes things fairly simple for me. I'm going to need pumpkins maybe at some point in time. And this cucumber salad works really good. I have a lot of it that I've made back at the base, and I have very rarely used any of it. It is really, really good. So, let's see if there's anything in here. Water bread. I believe that whoa! Surprise me! Hello, welcome to the party. Alright. Oh, hello, another guy. There must be a spawner down here. There it is. I can see it now. Doop. Put that down. Put that down. Put that down. Okay. Okay. So, I am going to continue exploring. I think as you go down in levels, you should find harder monsters and, what am I trying to say? Better loot, better stuff in the chests. I don't know that for a fact, but I think I read that somewhere in relation to this mod. And another thing is, as I said with this gravel gun, it shoots out, you know, a piece of gravel every time you fire it, which means, of course, that you are obviously limited in how much ammo you have, but it's not too bad because it's so easy to get that ammo. All I have to do is find a vein of gravel and dig it up, and then I'll be reloaded, so to speak. So it's kind of nice in that sense. So I'm going to continue exploring. I'll let you know if I find anything interesting. Okay, this room is actually pretty cool. It's set up sort of like a agricultural or even a brewing room. You can see there's brewing potion or brewing stands here that's used to make potions and whatnot. And then over here you have some crops growing. There's carrots here. There's nether wart there. Looks like pumpkin and they're both pumpkins. There's also these cactuses, and I can always use cacti for the green dye that's needed for some things, and then some sources of water that might be used. So this is kind of a neat little setup. But what's important for me here is this right here, the nether wart. Nether wart is normally used for brewing potions, especially in vanilla Minecraft. But with mods, a lot of times nether wart can be used for other things, and this soul sand perhaps as well. So let's see, is there anything that it can do? well, doesn't show, but I think I can use it for some other stuff. So I'm going to take it because I might need it. But I think everything else I will just leave alone for now. Oh, look at that. Look at that. Okay, I will admit that I had an ulterior motive for coming into a roguelike dungeon, which is that I had heard it was possible to find ghast tears as dungeon loot in some of the treasure chests. I don't know if it's a guarantee that you find ghast tears or not, but as I said, I had heard that it was possible, and sure enough, there is a ghast tear. So yes, I will admit that there was an ulterior motive for coming down here, in addition to just wanting to fight some monsters. I was hoping that I would be able to find a ghast tear, and I did. So that's actually fairly nice, and will make other things I need to do very convenient. So, alright, ghast tear, pretty cool. I'm still going to keep exploring, though, and see what else I can see. Okay, well, I am down here now on the 3rd level of the dungeon, and I am having just a heck of a time getting almost anything done, doing any amount of surviving. The monsters are super tough, whatever's in the spawners, in addition to the regular monsters that spawn. And then on top of that, any that are infernal mobs are being pretty brutal as well. So sometimes in those little rooms there's a spawner. See, there's a mob there. Oh, see, he's going to be a bad one. I'm going to run away from him. Do that. And see, he's got sticky. Sticky means that he can steal my weapon away from me. Let me see if I have a regular bow. I don't, but I could make one. I'm going to make a bow real quick, because I have so much, so many arrows. I have so many arrows from the various skeletons. So let's make a bow, and maybe I can use it against this guy real quick. Let's put that there. Make a bow. Make a bow. And alright. Let's see, is he still there? Yeah, he's way on the other end. Yeah, see, when I hit him, he's got gravity, which throws me up in the air. Like that. And so you can see he starts off with 80 hit points. Because the infernal mobs are also stronger. He's got Sapper, which gives me hunger when I hit him as well. So this guy, fortunately, isn't too bad. I got him. Even still, he took quite a bit out of me. So, yeah, I have been having... I was doing okay, or fairly okay at least, until I got down to this level, and now I am having a heck of a time, and it doesn't help that I'm low, you know, I'm 2 hearts down on maximum health and whatnot. And I've taken to the point of destroying the spawners. Normally I don't like to destroy spawners because I feel like they can come in handy and useful. Usually at some point in time, but I have taken to doing so because I feel like I almost have to. These armored skeletons are a huge pain. And then another skeleton, that's just lovely. I'm out of gravel, which is why I'm not using my gravel gun, in case you're wondering. And I need some more arrows. I have some in here. There you go. So as you can see, I am taking, and I've got my power armor. It's just not enough. I don't know if it's part of it's the hard mode that I'm playing on. The softer hardcore mod does make things tougher as well. A couple more bad guys coming after me. Oh man. And then just the special mobs from this Roguelike Dungeons mod, as well as Infernal mobs. They are all making things super, super difficult. So, I'm just feeling a little, not a little, I'm feeling greatly overwhelmed by all of this, and I think it's just a matter of time before I run into something that's going to end up killing me. So I think I'm going to, one at a time. The mobs aren't so bad, but I'm getting ganged up on, you know, like even here, and you can see my sword is, you know, these guys are so heavily armored that I can only do so much to them. So when they gang up on me, that's when I'm having the most difficult time with things. And there's just so many of them. There's so many spawners, and then even the normal dark places where things can spawn just is making this really tough. I really need the better armor, and I think I can start trying to work on it now that I have the gas tier. It's still going to take a little bit of effort because of things that I don't have available to me, and it also doesn't help that that half of my base and half of my production line got destroyed in the terrible incident with the industrial coil. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go ahead and let cowardice be my thing at this point in time, because these guys are just getting tougher and tougher for me, and I can just tell that I'm going to have a hard time. So I'm going to head back to my base, and we'll finish up the episode there. Okay, I am back at my base, and still staring with dismay at the destruction that occurred from the industrial coil blow-up. There was so much stuff in this area that is now gone that is pretty devastating. I had a lot of stuff, to say the least. What's interesting, I noticed this before, but I didn't think much of it until now, is that this gravel is here. So for whatever reason, the explosion blew out dirt and cobblestone, but it left gravel. Kind of strange, I guess. So I'm going to have to work on rebuilding my production line and my equipment. That's going to mean iron, and it's a little bit fortunate that not fortunate, but it's a good thing I did find some iron in the cave and my little side tracking with the little cave there. But so yeah, it attempted to tackle at least that roguelike dungeon, and I was only able to make it down to the 3rd level, and I couldn't even really explore that fully. There's still a lot more to that dungeon. And I will tell you this, another reason why I wanted to go in there, as I said, I had the ulterior motive, which was finding this gas tier, and I found that gas tier actually a lot higher up in level. I think I was on the 2nd level for that than I would have thought. If you keep going farther down in those roguelike dungeons, usually at the bottom of them there will be what I call at least a nether level, and it is basically completely full of netherrack, and the netherrack will sometimes have the nether quartz ore within it, and nether brick and stuff like that. So it's another source of netherrack, similar to getting these meteors down at the bottom of those roguelike dungeons are some more netherrack and nether quartz ore. And I was really hoping I would be able to get down to it and dig some of that up, because again, it can be very useful. But I was really just having a super tough time with the monsters. I'll be honest, I'm not good at the fighting aspect of Minecraft. I'm not good at the fighting aspect in most games, which is why I tend to avoid those kinds of games. To be honest with you, I really enjoy, with Minecraft, I really enjoy mostly mining. I like going down and digging stuff up, whether it be coal or magnetite or anything else. In fact, I still get a little bit excited every time I find diamonds, just because I think that's a cool thing. And then after that, I enjoy building machinery and equipment. That's why I love the tech mods, because they allow you to create all kinds of different things and figure out ways to power them and stuff. The combat mechanic, the combat part of Minecraft has never been a strong favorite of mine. But I think it's important to every once in a while do something with that, a little bit more action oriented, because sometimes building stuff and just mining, it can get a little bit dull and boring. And it's good to get out and get some excitement, get the old clicking finger on the mouse, clicking finger a little bit more active. And I think I've done that for this episode. I really wish I could have explored more of that roguelike dungeon, but there were so many times when I was getting taken down to 2 or 3 hearts left of life and getting ganged up, and a lot of times I found myself just sticking myself into a hole and hiding, and that's not all that enjoyable either. So hopefully now that I have this gas tier, now there's going to be a lot more that I need to do in order to be able to make the jet fuel. It's not as simple as just having the gas tier. There's going to be an entire process, to say the least, to do with that. But we're going to get to that point. I'm going to get to that point, I should say, and I'll be able to show you what I'm doing there. I'm not sure what my next step would be. To be honest with you, what I had been working on was getting to a method where I could start building my first nuclear reactor, which will generate just a ton of power, which of course is just a very nice thing to have, as you can imagine. But I'm not sure if I should go that route or go the route of increasing my armor first. But before I can do that, I need to get back to, as you can see, I've lost so much equipment and machinery that now I can't even power my extractor anymore. So I'm kind of stuck there for now. I'm going to have to start rebuilding my power efforts, my power energies, and all of that. So I'm going to take this explosion as an opportunity to redo my base and the layout and how I have things set up and stuff like that. So anyway, I've rambled on enough. That's enough for this episode. I thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed it, and I will see you soon.